Right, welcome to the video. So we're going to be doing a little decode of a music video, Black Star by David Bowie. I have to thank Mark Allison for getting me onto this video. It's a very heavily symbolic video, and it contains a lot of the symbolism that I've been looking at in the last few of my videos. So before you watch this video, I recommend you go back and watch the Blood Moon series. It has a lot of the symbolism that we're going to be covering in this video. And also, if I sound out of breath, I just got back from a run, so hopefully I'll get that under control at some point. So before we start the video, I'm just going to read a quick and simple gospel. John chapter 3, verse 16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. And that's all you have to do. All you have to do is believe in him. It doesn't matter how good of a person you've been in your life, or how often you've gone to church, or how often you've given to charity. The only way to salvation is believing in him and his work on the cross. It doesn't matter what you've done. It has everything to do with what he's done. It's a free gift, and all you have to do is accept it. Okay, so for this video here, we're not going to be watching it front to back, but instead we're going to be looking at just some timestamps with some important symbolism in it. So I'll just begin here. Okay, so right away they show us a great deal of symbolism in it right off the bat. So I'll just start it over again and pause it at certain parts. So first thing you notice is you see this red tape here, and then a couple seconds later, blue tape. So if you've watched most of my videos, this will be no surprise to you. But for others, what's being symbolized here is the two aspects of the next full moon in March, which is on March 14th. So it happens to be a blood moon. So there's your blood aspect of the moon. So lunar eclipse, March 14th. So lunar eclipse is the exact same thing as a blood moon. So there's your blood moon there. And then you have the blue tape here, which is symbolizing the blue aspect. So a blue moon is the second full moon within one calendar month. So the calendar that occurs on is the old Roman calendar. So right there you have your March blood moon right there. So that's in the Gregorian calendar, the standard calendar. And then I don't have the rest of the dates here, but back on the old Roman calendar at the start of the month, you have the February snow moon. So there's your two full moons within 1 month. So right off, where's the video? Right off the bat there, they show us the blood moon aspect and the blue moon aspect. So you have really no doubt as to what you're looking at. And just to drive it home, they show us the actual lunar eclipse. So upon first glance here, you would think that what you're being shown here is a solar eclipse. But the thing you have to keep in mind is the perspective of this. So you have this astronaut guy here and this kind of terrain that appears to be the moon. So what this planetary body between the sun and this right here is actually the Earth. And you don't recognize that at first, but I'll show you the mechanics of a blood moon if you're not familiar with it. So a blood moon occurs when the moon appears red during a lunar eclipse. This happens when Earth is directly between the moon and the sun, casting a shadow on the moon. So you have the sun there, the moon in between, and then the result is a blood moon right there. So they show you the red, blue, and the lunar eclipse there. So you have really no doubt what you're looking at. Okay, so we'll just fast forward to the next part here. Let's see. And you have these two gentlemen here. So this is actually a very important part of the video to also really bracket in that time period we're looking at. So you have this darker fellow here, and then this person who's looks like almost an albino or just like a very pale person. And you'll notice they have almost identical builds with height and build. So what they're really trying to show you here is a similarity. So I believe what's being symbolized here is the equinox, which, if you're not familiar with it, it's the point in the year where there's equal part day and equal part night. So I'll just pull up a little chart here. So we have Jerusalem here. This is going to be our example. And we go down to, it occurs between March 16th and 17th. So you have the day length right here. So almost equal parts day and night. but it actually occurs right between these due dates here. So that's when you'll have equal parts night, 12 hours day, 12 hours night. So that also happens to be right around the full moon that we're looking at there. So right around here is where you would have your equilux, which is actually a very good symbolic representation of division. So you would have like your unbeliever or your believers, and then your unbelievers, the wheats and the tares, the sheeps and the goats. If this is when the gathering is, and then the tribulation begins after, it would be a very perfectly symbolic moment in the year to show that kind of division. So that would make a lot of sense. And we're just going to fast forward to our next part here. So about the 3-minute mark. So I'll just let this scene play. Okay, so again, it's really no question what you're being shown here. You have these girls kind of gathering in a circle, and then like there's the red lighting. So obviously, what you're being shown here is a blood moon, and the enemy loves to use timestamps. So imagine it doesn't quite assemble fully on 3:14, which I expected it to, but 3:15. So this is March 15th, and that's like right in the middle of your blood moon. So it's appears to be a full moon visually for this period here. So that may as well be the date there. But you have your March 15th and then your blood moon. So no question what you're looking at. And this scene here, this is incredible. I like this one a lot. So you have this kind of skeleton floating up, and then you have your lunar eclipse or your blood moon being shown again, which was being shown at the start here. So this is in reference to, I believe, 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 16 through 17, and I'll pull that up right now. So, for the Lord himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangel, and with the trump of God. And the dead in Christ shall rise first. Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds, to meet the Lord in the air, and so shall we ever be with the Lord. So for anyone that's unfamiliar with this verse, this is the rapture verse of the Bible. And although the word rapture doesn't appear in the Bible, it's rapturo. It comes from rapturo in Latin, so that's where you get rapture from. But the Greek version of that word, harpazo, is this would be right here, caught up. So that's where you get your kind of Latin and then rapture. That's where that comes from. So, but what this is depicting is the rapture. And so then you have the dead in Christ shall rise first. So that's not that one. That's what's being shown here. This is the dead in Christ rising, and it happens to be during that lunar eclipse, blood moon. So that's exactly what they're showing you right there. So that one's very, very interesting. So I'll just fast forward to the next one here. And okay, so I'll just play this out here. So the blood moon's kind of going away here, or disassembling. And then they show you this kind of harvest scene. So you got the grain here, and the kind of red lighting. So they have many of these scenes throughout this video, but this is what this is showing to you is the harvest of believers. And for the first part here, for this scene, they have it in like red lighting, so that's giving you your blood moon aspect. And then later on, I'll just go to that right now. I think I have the timestamp for that. Then right here, you again have the harvest, and then you have your other aspect of that March moon. So you have the blue moon aspects. They show you both aspects here with the harvest of believers. So we'll just go back to another scene here. So this scene is very interesting. So I'll just play this now. Okay, so I'll just back this up here. And there's actually a lot going on in this scene, but we're going to kind of unpack it from most obvious symbolism to the least obvious. So the most obvious you can glean from this is like the blue color. This is again our blue moon symbolism that's being shown here. And then over here you have the two gentlemen that are symbolizing the equilux. So, and then you have this woman here. So you think like, why is this woman here? Like, what could this possibly symbolize? So we're going to go to Stellarium here. And we're on March 16th, 2025. So I'll just change it between 16th to 17th so you get the idea of where the moon is here. So you have the constellation of Virgo right here, which is the woman. And then right between the 16th and 17th is where you would have your equinox. So what they're showing you here is these two gentlemen are symbolizing the moon in during equinox, and then you have this woman here who's symbolizing Virgo. So you'll notice the moon is just to the right of Virgo, just as these gentlemen are just to the right of this woman. So that's what they're showing you there. And then the rest is very interesting. So you have the perspective of the sun. So what I believe is being shown here again is just the lunar eclipse from a different angle. This video is very long. It's about 10 minutes long, but they show an almost identical scene about 3 to 4 times. So I recommend just watching this video for yourself. But yeah, again, what's being shown here is, I believe, the lunar eclipse. So you have the shadow here, and obviously the light is directed towards this scene. So I believe the sun is kind of like off screen. That's what they're showing you. And then you have the book here, which I'm gonna assume this is the Earth is here, and then the moon is what David Bowie is symbolizing. So I believe again there it's a little more ambiguous than what's being shown in the rest of the video, but I again believe this is the kind of lunar eclipse on March 14th is what's being shown here. So yeah, very, very interesting. And I'm just gonna fast forward here to the last scene we're gonna look at. So I put the wrong timestamp here. Let's go back. Okay, this scene right here. So this one is very, very interesting. So you have 5 girls lined up on this side and then 5 on the other. So what this is showing you here is the parable of the 10 virgins in the book of Matthew. You have the the 5 virgins that were wise, and then the 5 that were unwise. So you have symbolizing the believers, unbelievers, those who are caught up, those who are left behind. So I'm just going to read that verse right now, actually, or part from the chapter per se. So Matthew 5, the 10 virgins. Then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened unto 10 virgins, which took their lamps and went forth to meet the bridegroom. And 5 of them were wise, and 5 were foolish. They that were foolish took their lamps, and took no oil with them. But the wise took oil in their vessels with their lamps. While the bridegroom tarried, they all slumbered and slept. And at midnight there was a cry made, Behold, the bridegroom cometh, go ye out to meet him. Then all those virgins arose and trimmed their lamps. And the foolish said unto the wise, Give us your oil, for our lamps have gone out. But the wise answered, saying, Not so, lest there be not enough for us and you. But go ye rather to them that sell, and buy for yourselves. And while they went to buy, the bridegroom came. And they that were ready went in with him to the marriage, and the door was shut. Afterward came also the other virgins, saying, Lord, Lord, open to us. But he answered and said, Verily I say unto you, I know you not. Watch therefore, for ye know neither the day nor the hour wherein the Son of Man cometh. So this is exactly what you're being shown here. The wise virgins and the unwise, the believers, unbelievers, sheep, goats, wheats, tares, however you look at it. These are the people that believed in Christ and his sacrifice. And when he comes to take them, they go with him. And then over here you have the unbelievers who are left below per se in the tribulation. Whether they go on to become tribulation saints or not, I'm not too sure. But yeah, that's exactly what's being shown to you here. So if you were unsure of what was being depicted throughout this whole video, this really hammers home exactly what you're being shown throughout the whole video. So very, very interesting. It's a very symbolic video, and I like it a lot because it really hammers home the exact time frame you're looking at, like specifically March, blood moon, and 2025. The one girl next to the equinox and the equinox gentleman really kind of prove that time period. So very, very good symbolic video. I probably should have taken a breath before I made this video. Like, I was getting lightheaded about halfway through, but thanks for bearing with me and listening to that. But yeah, thank you for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, and tell your friends. God bless. Take care.